Here we go. Good morning, Deb.
Good morning.
And good morning to everyone watching today or any time of day, whenever you happen to catch this. Welcome. We are going to have another travel talk today as we talk about Deb's North Shore Mackinac Island tour trip. This one's going in September. It'll be September 8th through the 14th of 2022. So you've got 7 days to look forward to in the Mackinac area. This is not Deb's first trip up there. She has been several times. In fact,
Yep,
usually every year you take a
yep.
trip with Northland Travel, and it's one of those trips that's very popular with our travelers. You have a lot of first timers. You also have people who go
Repeat.
time and time again with
Yep,
you
sure do.
because it's just such a neat destination, and it's great to go with a group as well. So I am just going to sip my coffee and let Deb take this away here to talk about North Shore.
Okay. Well, thanks, Rachel. And
Mhm.
again, like she said, this is September 8th to the 14th of this year. It's a 7-day trip. Um, this, like Rachel said, Jim and I have been doing this trip for many, many, many years. I think this is probably, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years we've been doing it, with the exception of when COVID, of course, hit.
Mhm.
But we went last year, did the same trip last year, and everybody just loved it. So usually I change it up a little bit when I go to Mackinac Island, but being everybody liked it so well last year, I decided to just keep it as the same trip this year. So anyway, I'm just going to go over it a little bit and tell you about it. And so on the first day, we will pick you up in your normal pickup locations, and we're going to travel over into central Wisconsin. And the first night we'll be staying at the Lodge of the Crooked Lake, which is near Siren, Wisconsin. And we'll stay there. It's a beautiful cabiny type lodge. Right across the road from the lodge, there's a Crooked Lake, is what it's called. It's a beautiful lake there. So if it's a nice evening, you can go just walk across the road there and go over and sit along the lake. They've got benches and picnic tables and all that out there. So I think you'll really enjoy that. There's a restaurant that sits right adjacent to the hotel. So you can just walk over there for your supper that night. And we're getting up into the Northwoods. So it's starting the very southern edge of the Northwoods. So it's really starting to get beautiful up in there. So we'll stay overnight there. And then the next day, day 2, we will continue our trek north. And we're going to go up along the Wisconsin shoreline, the lake shoreline, and then go over into Michigan. And our first stop is going to be the Copper Peak Ski Flying Hill near Ironwood, Michigan. This place is really unique and it's really cool. We take people there every time we go up through there, and they always seem to like it. This Copper Peak is the largest man-made ski jump in the world. And if heights don't bother you, what you can do is that we'll get you on a chairlift that will take you up 3/4 of the way up the hill, or most of the way up the hill. And then once you get up there, then you'll be able to go inside this tower, and it'll go up 8 stories up, and you'll be able to take this elevator up there. It'll get you to the top, which ends up being about 3/4 of the way up the actual ski jump slope. So you'll get to walk out on there and see that and look down. You can see when you're up that high, you look around, you'll be able to see, they say, about 40 miles in every direction. And it's just quite the sight to see.
And
And
you've
how
done that, Deb? Have you done that yourself?
have I done it? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I go up there all the time. Yep.
Awesome.
But it's cool. It's quite the sight, and you take a look because you're standing right next to the actual ski jump. And I tell you, these guys and gals, I mean, in my opinion, have to be crazy that do this.
Right.
They're just, I mean, it's the ski jump itself is so high. And then they're just jumping off into, what I consider no man's land.
Hmm.
Anyway, it's pretty cool to see that. So I think you'll really enjoy that. And then once we leave there, we're going to continue our way across the Upper Peninsula, because this is right at the beginning of the Upper Peninsula. We're going to go into the Upper Peninsula, Michigan more, and we're going to get over into Munising, Michigan. And there we'll stay overnight that night. Our hotel is right on the Lake Superior coastline. So it's pretty neat hotel there. You'll get to go out, and they've got a nice big grassed in area out there with chairs and all that stuff, and you can just sit and and look at the water, and it's really neat. So that's the end of the second day. And so then the third day, we will, right there in Munising, it's known for its pictured rock cruises. And so we're going to take a cruise that morning up along the pictured rock coastline. Beautiful, beautiful rocks up through there. They're layered in different colors. I mean, it's really neat to see it. And it's a narrated cruise that we go on, and you can get lots of good pictures. And so that's again right on the Lake Superior shoreline, so coastline. So you'll really get some good views and good pictures there. And then we'll leave there, and we're going to travel over to Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And we'll stay overnight in Sault Ste. Marie that night. And the next morning there, we're going to get up and we're going to do the Soo Locks boat tour. And this boat tour here it'll take us through. We'll lock through both Lake Huron and Lake Superior. They come together there, and we'll cruise along through the locks where you'll see lots of interesting sights. There's giant lake freighters out there. We'll cross under the International Highway Bridge. So you just get a lot of neat views, and you learn a lot. This too is a narrated cruise, and so you learn a lot as you go. And then we'll get back from that, and then we're going to head a little bit south down to Mackinac City. And as we go down right before we get into Mackinac City, we're going to go across the Mackinac Suspension Bridge. This is a 5-mile bridge, and it connects the Upper Peninsula to the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. It's what it does. And it is also, this suspension bridge is also the imaginary line for Lake Superior and Lake Huron, the division of them. But anyway, you'll go across that, and then we're going to get over to Mackinac City. We'll have lunch in Mackinac City, and then we're going to get on a ferry there in Mackinac City, and we will ferry over to Mackinac Island. And then we're going to spend the next 2 days and 2 nights on the island. And I think you're going to enjoy that. Our hotel is right downtown Mackinac City, right on what I refer to as Main Street, where the lake is just basically across the street from you, just a little walking distance. But we're right on Main Street. So you're close to your souvenir shops and your fudge shops and your bike shops and all that kind of stuff. So you're real close to everything. And it's a really nice hotel. This is the hotel that I've stayed at all the years that we've been going there. And what I really like about the hotel, this Lakeview Hotel that we stay at, what I really like about it is that I'm doing as much traveling as we've done over the course of the years. I'm beyond the stage of souvenir shopping and all that kind of stuff. But I'm a people watcher. I love to people watch. So the front of this hotel has this long porch on it with all these rocking chairs out there. I like to refer to them as kind of the Cracker Barrel rockers, that you see. That's got all these rockers out front in the porch. And so then you can just go out there on the porch and sit in these rockers and just watch all the activity of the street go by. The horses and the bikes, and of course all the people, and it's just kind of a neat thing. And I think, as everybody knows, if you haven't been there before, Mackinac Island is a non-motorized island. It's the only one in the United States, but so there's no motorized vehicles allowed on the island other than their emergency vehicles. Their fire trucks and their ambulances and stuff like that. But otherwise, everything is done either by bicycle or horse and carriage, horse and wagon, however, on foot. So it's just really fun to watch. And I mean, it's such a calm, peaceful place. It's just so neat to sit and watch everybody go by. And so I think you'll really, really, really enjoy that.
I got to interrupt you for a second. I'm thinking of some of the pictures I think that you've sent me from that exact space. And it is really interesting to see some of them. I think you caught a couple pictures of like morning delivery to some of the different stores, and you see, it's either by a bicycle or horses, and you're like,
horses and wagons, and they they bring all the supplies that they need. And I mean, this is obviously a big tourist spot. So they've got lots and lots of
Mhm.
supplies they've got to bring over. And they bring those over on the ferries. And then at the docks there, the boat docks, then that's where the horses and wagons meet. And then they have to transfer it off, all
Mhm.
of their goods off of uh, the boat, the ferry, onto their horses and wagons. And so early mornings they're out delivering all those. And it's so neat to lay in bed and have your window open a little bit and hear this clip clop, clip clop, clip clop down the
Mhm.
street, of the horses.
Mhm.
It's just it's really, really a cool thing. So it's one place that, like I said, Jim and I have went probably, I don't know, loads and loads of times over the years. And it's still one place. It's one of my favorite places to go. I don't get tired of going there.
Mhm.
It's so, so neat.
Mhm.
So anyway, that next morning, then we will, after you hear the clip clop under the horses and all that, and you have a nice good breakfast, then we are going on a horse-drawn carriage ride around the island. And this is a really, really cool thing, as you'll learn all about the history of the island. And then after we get done with that, they will take us right up to the Grand Hotel. And anybody that knows anything about Mackinac Island knows that the Grand Hotel is the star of the island. And matter of fact, some movies have been made up there over the course of the years. Christopher Reeves, several years ago, made a movie there, and there's been a couple other movies made there. But anyway, so then they will drop us off at the Grand Hotel. We will have a big elegant lunch there, a big buffet lunch, and we'll have that there. And then it'll also give you time. This is a huge, huge hotel. It'll also give you time after lunch then to walk around the hotel and just see what it's all about and see some of the beauty of the hotel. And then we will again then be met by another horse and carriage, and then they will take us back downtown. And then you'll have the rest of the afternoon and evening that evening as well. And the evening before, you'll have time to that late afternoon after we get in the first day. We'll get in there 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you'll have the rest of the day to just go out and wander around and do whatever you'd like. But then that second day, after we get brought back downtown from the Grand Hotel, then you'll have the rest of that day, and you can rent bicycles if you'd like, and go out around anywhere you want on the island. The circumference of Mackinac Island, it's 8 miles in circumference around it, and they have what I'd consider a paved bike path, but it's actually a state highway. It's the only state highway in the state of Michigan that they don't allow motorized vehicles on. But anyway, it's 8 miles around the island, and you can rent bikes. There's bike shops all over the place there. You can rent bikes of any kind. You can rent 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers. You can rent bicycle tandem bikes. The bicycle built for two. You can rent any kind of bike you want, and you can go around the island, on this paved bike path. And I always encourage that to, just about any of our group that goes, because it's a pretty smooth ride. That's not, I mean, it's all paved, but there's no hills to speak of, maybe a little incline a couple different times, but nothing that, anybody shouldn't be able to handle. So that's just really a neat thing to do. A lot of people do that. And then you could also, if you really into carriage rides and that, you can go over to the stable and you can even rent your own little private carriage. If you love horses and you ride horses, you can rent a horse and ride horseback or go horseback riding. And so you're just a lot of different things that you can do besides your shopping and all that good stuff. So you'll have the rest of that day to do that. And then we'll stay overnight there again for the second night on the island. And then the next morning, we'll ferry back across and be met back by our bus there. And then we'll take off and go down the western course, the western edge of Mackinac, of Michigan. And we're going to go down then to the Silver Lake area. And down there, we're going to do a sand dune buggy ride. Last year was the first year that we did that, and the group had so much fun doing it. You're right out there along this beautiful Silver Lake along the water, and it's just fun. It's a multi, I don't know, I think the dune buggies hold like 15, 20 people, something like that, and they have a couple of them. And it's not a rough ride by no means, but it's just a fun ride up and down the sand dunes and around and along the water. And everybody just really loved it and had a good time. So we'll be doing that. And then after we get that done, we're going to go just a little bit further back up north, 30, 40 miles north. And we're going to stay in Ludington, Michigan that night. And then the next day, our last day out, that morning, we'll get up and we're going to get on the SS Badger car ferry that goes across the lake, that goes across Lake Michigan from Ludington, Michigan over to Manitowoc, Wisconsin. It's a 4-hour ride. We'll get to the pier there and we'll unload the bus, and then everybody walks onto the ferry. And then the bus that goes along with us, but the bus driver will back that on what I call the belly of the butt or the belly of the boat. On the very bottom, he backs the bus on, and so it obviously goes along with us. And during this 4-hour ride across, you'll be able to do a lot of different things. One of the things that's really neat is obviously it's so beautiful out there when you're going across the lake. They've got chairs and all that stuff. You can sit all the way around the boat outside. They've got one floor. It's about a two-story boat. And at the back of one of them, one story there, you can sit there. They got tables and chairs, and there's glassed windows all the way around. And so you can just sit and watch all the outside, all the beauty go by if you don't care to sit outside. They also have movies going. They play games. They play bingo and that. They've got a snack bar on there. They've got also a bar there that you can buy some alcoholic beverages if you choose. And they've got a resting area where if you just want to sit and sleep, you can do that. You can watch movies. So there's lots of different things you can do on the boat. But anyway, it's 4-hour ride across there. We'll end up over in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and then we'll come on home from there. So again, this is a 7-day trip. Pricing, it is priced at $19.49 per person double occupancy, $24.69 per person single, and $17.99 for triple or quad. So if you have any questions on it, why, make sure you contact me, get a hold of me, and I'd sure be glad to answer any questions. This trip here right now is what I'd say close to 2/3 filled, and we are still going and are going to continue for any time in the near future with our motor coach loads going at about 30 people occupancy, give or take, a couple either way. The reason we're holding back yet is number one, of course, always you never know when COVID's going to flare up again, and number two, right now everybody knows that as far as staffing, especially in restaurants and that kind of thing, staffing is really minimal in a lot of these places. And if I get any more than 30 people or the low 30s for wanting to find a restaurant, to dine in, why they really, the restaurants are discouraged right off the bat when you say you got 38 or 40 people, they're like
just overwhelmed with that number.
Yeah. So in 30, we can usually squeak by. I can usually sweet talk them into that. So I still get my choice of good restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it's just been where that number seems to work well. So we're sticking right at 30. So as far as on the motor coaches, we've got the regular full-size motor coach, but you just got a little more spread out space so everybody doesn't have to sit on top of everybody if you don't choose to. And it just makes it's just a nice size group. So anyway, that will be, for the immediate future, I've got trips planned all through the rest of this year, and we're holding right at 30. So that will be the normal,
And, that's such a good thing to know too. And that was only found by, you taking your first, few trips out and finding kind of that sweet spot of what restaurants are willing to take. And
exactly.
So it's nice that you've been through that experience and you're still able to offer, like you said, a lot of those good restaurants and things.
That's what I strive for. So it works good.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all I have to say for right now.
Okay, awesome. So you've heard it, North Shore, Mackinac Island. Deb is well rehearsed in this trip. So, like she said, if you have any questions, be sure to reach out. She'd be happy to answer them. You can also call around at the office. The number has been up on the screen the entire time, but you'll see it here again. If you would like an itinerary, you can check with Rhonda, or you can look at northlandtravel.com. It's listed there as well. It's coming up. I know we're just getting settled into summer right now, but it's a great time as far as travel goes to be thinking about those plans for fall. And believe it or not, we're even gonna say Christmas.
Yep.
Deb has some Christmas tours going too, so be thinking kind of in the fall time, Christmas here as far as getting your travel plans set. So anyway, I think that'll do it for today. And thanks
Yep.
so much for joining us. Thank you, Deb.
Yep.
And everyone, have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. See you later. Bye bye.